Hey, it's Kurtis, back with another review. This one is on the Rogue RH-2I reverse hyper. This is different than their normal reverse hyper in that it is mounted on the uprights here on my RML 690 rack. It fits perfectly and I love it. To be perfectly honest, it's one of the best things that I purchased for the rack. Now, if you're one of those people that think that reverse hypers are not necessary, you're 100% correct. But having a home gym isn't about having what's necessary all the time. Sometimes it's about having what you want. And I wanted a reverse hyper, but I was incredibly limited on space, so here we are with the RH-2I.
So real quick on putting it all together. When it arrived on 2 different pallets. You can see it was inside of here. I did have one problem. The box that contained the clamps, the strap, everything you need basically to keep the weights and actually function the reverse hyper were missing. You can see me just throw the box aside there. Rogue took care of me and they sent it out like next day. Putting it all together was actually really easy considering I did it by myself. I used a plyo box and just undid all the bolts. Ended up actually using bumper plates to get the reverse hyper to the correct height and just lined up the holes the best I could. Now you'll see here all I had to do was get the top 2 actually bolted in, and then after that I just pushed it and threw the bolts inside, and it all went together very easily from there. Just as a quick note, the rack is super extra stable now that it has the reverse hyper in there.
One of the things that you need to consider with the rack-mounted version of the reverse hyper is that the platform is actually a little bit higher than a normal reverse hyper. On a normal reverse hyper, this maybe sits about 6 inches lower. So when you're standing next to it, you have about 6 more inches that you need to jump up over in order to get into position. Honestly, it's not that big of a difference. It doesn't make a difference for me other than I just have to jump. One of the biggest things that I was concerned with when I purchased this rack was whether the swing arm, more importantly the front of the plate, was actually going to be able to fit in this amount of space. The very front of my post is exactly 35.5 inches from this wall. Now that being said, when this mounted up there, these handles are about 5 inches off the wall, and this pendulum with the weight is about 3 to 4 inches at its closest. So that's plenty of space, especially considering that this doesn't budge at all. Like, it does not move. A normal reverse hyper, if you get a lot of weight on it and you get someone that's really swinging, you'll actually notice that it moves forward and backwards. This thing does not move. It is stable.
So here you can see some of the detail with the mounting. There's 3 bolts per upright. And you can see I was still able to mount my plate posts on the side. Here's the underside. Nice solid construction. 3 bolts on the other side. Mine's mounted 35 inches from the wall. Still got 5 inches from the front of the handle. 4 inches from the front of the plate on the pendulum at full extension, so when it's all the way forward.
So that's it for the review. If you like reverse hypers and you're looking for one that fits in a really small footprint, this might be the one for you. It takes up 0 additional space. Again, 35 inches off the front of the post, and I have plenty of room and no concerns at all about going through the wall. It's priced pretty reasonably compared to a standalone reverse hyper. It's high quality material, like everything that's Rogue. There's really no shortcuts taken. I feel confident I could load this up with as much weight as I own. I could swing away at it. It'll never move, it'll never budge, it'll never break. Really nothing else to add. It's an awesome piece of equipment. So if you're looking for a reverse hyper but you're super limited on space and you don't want a standalone version, the rack mounted ones are excellent. Rogue will tell you that they need to be mounted 36 inches away from the nearest wall, but like I said, I'm 35.5, and mine swings just fine as is. So that's it for today. If you liked the review, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the review, give it a thumbs down, but leave a comment down below, see what you guys want to see next.